welcome back to my YouTube channel. So on my YouTube channel, I usually talk about real estate, mostly rentals, because that's what I do, and I'm an ex-property manager, so I like to talk about property management as well. So today I want to tell you guys about renting apartments to individuals with Section 8. So if you are someone who works primarily as a rental agent and you're just not stuck on working with the higher end clients, but you do also cater to lower end clients, because sometimes people will call you and they will say, hey, I'm looking for an apartment, I have Section 8, can you help me? Now it is pretty hard to find people with Section 8 apartments these days, mostly because Section 8 has just such a negative connotation. People that have Section 8 are seen as just undesirable, and that really is not the case. So if you are a rental agent, I want to say to not work with individuals with Section 8, because like I stated in the previous video, their money spends just the same and I don't discriminate against anybody. And I used to have a close relationship with some of the caseworkers at Section 8 in a particular town right before I really got into property management, and they would always call me when they had clients that needed apartments, so they sort of kept me paid. So I have no problem with working with individuals with Section 8. Now, when you are working with individuals with Section 8, you need to ask them for key information up front, or they will waste your time. And you don't need your time to be wasted as a rental agent, because you don't get paid to pick up the phone and to meet with people and to talk to them. You only get paid when you close those deals and you get that commission check in the end. So if you don't have to waste time talking or dealing with a certain individual, a potential client, then don't. So let me just tell you what you're supposed to initially ask them off the bat, okay? So first things first is you want to ask them, how much is your voucher? That's number one. How much is your voucher? Because sometimes people in Section 8 would be like, I don't know, my caseworker just told me to find a 1-bedroom, and once they do like their rent survey, then they will tell me if it's approved. No. What does your voucher say? Like, does it say $1,500? Does it say $1,700? What does your voucher say? That off the bat, right? Secondly, this is what I always do. After they tell me their voucher amount, I say, what is your caseworker's phone number and what is their name? Off the bat. And most of the time, most people will just be like, here's my caseworker's name and here's my caseworker's phone number. Now some places, some of these caseworkers, they never answer the phone. They never answer the phone. And sometimes you can even ask your client, what is that caseworker's email? Because for some reason, if you email a caseworker, they are apt to email you right away, versus calling them, it might be hard to get through. But if you email them, it's like they respond right away. And you basically say, hi, just something generic. Hi, I am Kenya. I am a real estate agent. I work for 123 Liberty Real Estate Agency located in the town of Hoboken, New Jersey. I have a client. Her name is, Mariah Smith, and she said that you're her caseworker, and I just want to know how much her voucher is for and for how many bedrooms, so that I can find her an apartment that would fit her needs. You go straight to the caseworker. The caseworker will be like, yes, she has a voucher for a 2-bedroom and it's for $1,800. However, if the apartment doesn't include heat and hot water, then the voucher would be for I think it's less, if I'm not mistaken. So if the unit that someone is renting, if the utilities are included, the voucher is more. If the utilities aren't, the voucher is less. Wow, some kids are right outside my door just talking loud, y'all. So that's what I do. And so then I'll call the client back up. Hey, Mariah Smith, I just spoke to Ms. Johnson. She said that your voucher was for 2 bedrooms for $1,800, but if the apartment doesn't have utilities, then it's for $1,700. Okay, I'm going to see what I can do for you, what I can find for you, and I will take their cell phone number and ask them if it's okay to text them or an email address, and I would just basically say, when I find something that suits your needs, I will basically tell them they should hear something from me by the end of the day or tomorrow. However, if you don't hear from me by tomorrow, reach back out to me, and I'll basically just email them or text them, you know, just some places that I have, you know, some landlords that do accept Section 8 and places that I can show them, and I just tell them, hey, let me know which places you want to see and I can take you over there to see if you want them. That's that. Number 3, with Section 8, you got to make sure that all your all your I's are dotted and all your T's are crossed. Like with Section 8, you have to make sure you give them the lead rental form. Like there's a form basically saying like any properties built before the year 1978, they might contain lead, just to let you know. They have to sign off on it. You have to give them like there's like another pamphlet. Is it called the Fair Housing Guide? I'm not sure what it's called, but you have to make sure they have all the literature that they're supposed to get. Like you can't cut no corners with people with Section 8 or anything like that. They have to have everything, okay? You have to make sure you give them everything that they need. And depending on what county or what state, things might be different, but I know with Section 8, you have to do a little more than you would with the market rate rent apartment. So keep that in mind. Like if you don't want to go through the whole rigmarole with Section 8, because most of the time the commissions will be lower, then don't. However, it don't bother me because either way, I'm gonna get this money. You know what I'm saying? Number 4, there's gonna be more paperwork to be filled out, period. You know, with Section 8, they want the rent roll, you know. Section 8, they want the rent roll. So if that person is moving into a building, they will need the rent roll. How much, and the rent roll is basically telling how much everybody in that building is paying for rent for, like, you know, the apartments that is similar to your apartment. And you know, they do like a little rent study at Section 8 or whatever they call it, a rent study, and they'll say approved or not approved. And then a Section 8 inspector has to go out to that unit and inspect that unit to make sure that it is suitable and up to par before that person can move in. So sometimes, you know, it might take a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending on how busy your county is that you're working in, for them to come out and inspect the apartment, okay it. So that can be a delay on your commission checks. Like, I mean, it just depends. Like, to me, it doesn't bother me because either way, I'm going to get paid. And so it's like, why not take the deal? Even though I might get paid, you know, 2 or 3 weeks later, I'm still going to get paid versus not doing it and not getting paid at all. So that's just my thing. And so with Section 8, you have to find landlords, even though the apartments will be on the lower end, you have to find apartments that are up to par because Section 8 is not going to approve it. So apartments have to have smoke detectors. That's the biggest thing. You know, if it's newly renovated, they're checking, you know, the inspector comes out to make sure that, you know, everything is in place. And first, and then the Section 8 inspector comes out, has to come out as well to make sure everything is in place. And you know, it's like, you know, a building on a top or floor, like on a higher floor, you know, you have to offer that person window guards if you have children, and so they have to sign off on a form if they are wanting window guards, if they're not wanting window guards. So there's just a couple of more extra steps that you have to take when dealing with clients with Section 8. However, don't be scared of people with Section 8. Number 2, don't believe the hype about people with Section 8 that, you know, they're just, you know, uncivilized, because working in this industry, I've come to find out that that's really not the case. Now, have I run into some people that had Section 8 that was off the hook, that was off the chain, and was like real like hood and ghetto? Yes, hunty. However, I know how to deal with those type of people. You can't be scary when you're dealing with those type of people. You gotta be stern, you gotta be assertive, and you have to have something, you know, there has to be something about you to let them know, like, that you're not the one to be played with. You're here to help them, but at the end of the day, you're not playing with them, you know. You're not scared, you know. You have to be able to put your foot down to deal with individuals like that. If you cannot deal with individuals like that, you might not want to do real estate at all, period, because you want to come across clients that are just going to try you, whether it be Section 8 or your higher end clients, period, okay? So I hope that this helps you out. If you are a rental agent and you have gotten a few phone calls from individuals who have Section 8 and you're not sure whether or not you want to deal with them, or whether it would be, you know, in your best interest to deal with them, or whether would be worth it to deal with them, and you're just like, I don't know. This is just my 2 cents on it. And if you are a real estate agent and you do rentals and you have your 2 cents to add to what I have said already, put it in the comment section, because I don't know everything. I'm still learning, and you might tell me something I had no idea about. So just let me know in the comment section. Also, people that are watching my video to just learn more about the industry would like to know as well. So if you have any other questions about anything that I've said in this video, then please leave them in the comment section, and I will see you in my next YouTube video. Toodles!